scared like closed captions. King of the bars and I'm going hardcore. All my confidence comes from knowing God's laws. Banging on the system, fighting my kind of war. Loud as a whisper, quiet as a lion's roar. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready, here come Talib Kweli, and I'm banging on your eardrum. Now let me get up in it. John, here we go. Get up, get into it and get involved. There's a little something that I want to spit for y'all. Now let me get up in it. Get it now, get it fast, get it right, get it big, get it live, get it done, get it tight. But you don't really hear me though, I spit it clearly so it's
What's up, taters? How are you all doing? Welcome to the Bear and Tree Show. This is Tree, and I'm with...
You can call me BJ for short, and this is episode 3 already.
Yeah, isn't it going by fast?
It is. It is.
So we're so glad to have you here, guys. And so I will let you all know you should not hear me too loud this time because for some reason I believed BJ when BJ was telling me that my mic sound low. I knew it wasn't sounding low, but I was like, that's why I'm a little loud because I had the mic up to my face just in case. And well, there we go. Yeah, so,
any tech issues are my fault because I don't know sorry, I can't curse. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to tech. We were talking about before this. I don't understand how these platforms work. And I'm like, Tree, I think your mic is low, but don't trust me, really. I don't know.
He didn't say the don't trust me part. He
Right
was so adamant. He kept saying it over and over again, over and over and over again. You know how you got somebody that says, hey, man, you got some stuff on your face. You're like, no, I don't. No, yeah, you do. Like, seriously, you do. And they keep saying it over and over again. Then you're going to end up looking at your face. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he did.
Like,
he kept saying over and over again about my mic being low.
Yeah. Whatever. Even if it was low, we have a lot of energy and scream into the mic so you can hear us anyway. So it's up to them to adjust their volume to us. Especially when certain topics come up, we just need to start screaming. So, and we have a couple of those topics today that are going to get us going right now.
True. So, I mean, we're gonna have a good show today. We're gonna have a very, very good show today. And by the way, just so you guys know, the logo is coming. We have you don't know this because I'm telling you for the first time, but a lot of people have been sending me emails showing logos that they have for us. And I'm like, no, we have somebody to make our logo. It's just that first it was dependent upon me. And I would have to say I was holding up the last the last one because I had to show myself posing with something like a bullhorn that I was using my hair dryer, and then the artist was going to take the hair dryer and use it and put a bullhorn there, but it just didn't look right. And so we're going to have a non-action type of friendly position with me and BJ on there, so it's gonna look really, really well and everything like that. So, and we were just talking about it behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think a lot of millennials can relate to the fact that, like, she was asking, "Oh, do you have any good pictures of yourself?" Every picture I have, like a millennial loser, is a selfie. So there's always a camera there, which you don't want as a logo, or for guys especially, it's either you're taking care of yourself or you're with a big group of people, right? You're not posing for someone else to take pictures of you by yourself.
I have people who can take pictures of me by myself. I just don't like taking pictures anymore. I think when I went through so many years of constantly taking pictures, that I got to the point now I'm like, I just don't feel like it anymore. And it takes a while for me to get in the mood and that's what I'm saying, I got to be in the mood to take a picture. But today so we don't have to wait on me this time. I'm going to go ahead and take because it's just a basic picture of me, standing to the side with my, well, I don't know if I'm going to have my arms folded or I'm just going to be in a...
Let it be a surprise.
Yeah, it's going to be a surprise. So we got that going. So we have the logo coming, ladies and gentlemen. So, and remember, BJ sent me a text on Thursday and boom, we had the show within 6 days.
Yeah.
most people would sit there and go, okay, let's format this, and they usually wait until they have the logo, till they have the intro, till they have the music and all of that before they actually start a show. And I was like, we don't really, we can get that as time goes by. You was about to say something, BJ?
No. But I will say that all you need with us is the talking, so you'll get the other stuff later. We're gonna do the good talking, and then we'll have our good guests coming on bi-weekly, not bi-weekly, every other week.
Well, I'll let you all know I'm in a talks with a guest that's going to be coming. Fingers crossed. I've been communicating with him on Facebook, and I'll be emailing him tonight. Now, of course, he can't do it live like Gavin did. We're gonna have to do that one pre-recorded. But once I get the confirmation that he can do it, then we'll set it up and everything like that. So
there's a lot of good guests that are going to be coming on next couple of weeks. We have a good roster coming
What
on.
did you think about Gavin? When I watched that video, he had me in stitches.
That's Gavin. That is, I mean, for everyone that doesn't know Gavin McInnes, he did a bunch of things in his life. He founded Vice Media. He went on to do how I knew him from the show Get Off My Lawn. And then when CRTV, which hosted Get Off My Lawn, was bought by, I think, Glenn Beck, or his company, whatever that is. They pushed off Gavin for being a white nationalist. Michelle Malkin left because she was pissed off about the whole entire thing. Yeah. Right. And so Gavin's been deplatformed from everything, and now he's on Censored.tv. He still doesn't got my and it's like I'm listening to him like
you're coming in and out. You are
audio?
Yeah, you were fading in and out just there a little bit.
How about this right here?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, I finally finished the highlight. And it took a minute because this was said we're not, and BJ made a good point. He says he doesn't use profanity or trying to use as much as profanity, so he doesn't have to learn how to stop. I'm the one who have to learn how to stop, so I'm gonna have to watch my mouth doing this podcast because we don't have anything controversial in this one. So there's that. All right, so let me just go.
Definition.
Huh?
Viewers, we have plenty of controversial stuff, just not controversial enough that YouTube will kick us off.
True.
Don't worry, we have plenty of good, juicy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's certain things everyone knows we can't talk about.
Like none of the actual live streams have been monetized. That's just how controversial it is, which is no big deal. It's like I'm not like Jeremy. I'm not gonna be like, well, hey, we got to keep this ad friendly, dude. I could take some L's on some videos. Like I took an L on a video today. Well, I can't talk about that because talking about that is gonna get the video demonetized. But yeah, there was a video I did earlier that I said I'm not gonna even monetize it because the content of it itself is just naughty. It won't get monetized. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get into our subjects. But before we do, I just want to basically give a plug to let you all know that every Wednesday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Bear and Tree Show. Okay, it's for 2 hours. And the ultimate goal is to start having it on because Spotify and Apple Store and all the other places, so you all don't have to rely on YouTube to listen to it. Actually, I can do it now, but I got too much on my plate as it is to basically have those venues so you can listen to it, just the audio version of it. So that's just something we're going to have in the future. Like I said, we're just starting this out and just going on, adding things as we go along. Like BJ said, it's show number 3. So this is not bad for show number 3, right?
Yeah. And, if you guys, drop as many comments, please. Constructive criticism. If you want to hear more about something else, if you want me to take off my shirt, just anything you can possibly think of to make the show better, please go ahead and do that in the comments.
Yes, please do. Please. I don't think we had If you guys hear, I was surprised that people did not disagree, did not come for me in the comment section when I said Larry Elder is not going to win. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. Hold on a second. And we're going to go to that article here. Here we go. All right. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I was right. Told so. Told you so.
We should explain this for the people who didn't see the episode. So last episode, Sri and I, we had a discussion that some might call some blustering exaggeration on my side. But
you didn't exaggerate. You was like, he's going to win.
I sounded more confident than I actually was. So last episode we were arguing about it, and I thought I said he has a good chance of winning. I mean, this is the thing is Democrats are the California Democrats, a lot of them are been alienated by Newsom, right? And then she was like, no, Gavin's going to win. It's going to be a landslide. Here's the thing about this.
I didn't say nothing about no landslide. I said he gonna win.
It was a landslide anyway. If you had said it, you would have been correct. But here's the thing, though. I guess I wasn't fully aware of all the efforts Democrats were really putting into this. And the way they attacked this was actually really smart. Because what they did, they brought in the big guns, Obama, Kamala, I don't know if that's a big gun. I don't know if that's helpful at all. But Obama's definitely helpful. So they brought these people in, and they framed the election in a perfect way for California Democrats. Because they never said, Gavin never said, Evan Newsom never said, yes, so this is all the things I did great for you over the years, and these are the ways we need to move forward, right? What he did was, instead of saying, here are the things that make me a good candidate, he said, this is an election against Trumpism. This is an election against Republicans. It's an election against white supremacists like the black man Larry Elder, right? And so he framed it in a perfect way that California Democrats, instead of making it about him, it was about Trump for some reason, because Trump is still relevant. I don't know exactly how. They made it about Trump, and that's how I think they're able to influence the base. Because the thing about it is, even though California is heavily Democratic, if I did my math right, looking at the votes, about 13 million votes came in for the recall election out of 22 million registered votes. At the end of the day, it's not really about how Republican or Democrat the state is. It's about who they can get out. It's not a normal general election where they can get a really high turnout. They have to influence people. And my thought process was that even though there's a lot more Democrats, the Republicans would come full force. And a lot of the Democrats are like, screw Gavin Newsom. But if you make it not about Gavin Newsom, you make it about Trump, you get those Democrats to come. So anyways, she won the bet, yeah.
So it's not even about, I disagree. And here's my standing on it. It wasn't even about the framing that they made it about Trump. See, a lot of Republicans, and I didn't want to say, remember last week I said, I'm going to wait until he loses to say what I'm going to say, because I didn't even want to say what I'm about to say now to even influence those who were thinking about voting for Larry to not vote for him. So I was going to keep it to myself and then say it later afterwards, because like I said, regardless of how I feel about Larry Elder, I don't like Larry Elder, just for the disclosure, but I did want him, if it was possible for him to win, I'd rather him be there than Gavin Newsom. So now let me tell you what I was going to tell you all last week, but I decided not to say it. See, a lot of Republicans decided not to vote for Larry Elder because Larry Elder said that the 2020 election, and that Trump lost fair and square. Now, for the almighty YouTube, I want the YouTube algorithm to know that the election, the election was fair and square, and there were no fraudulent actions and no no ballot harvesting or any of that. Biden won fair and square.
And if I could add to that, it was probably the safest, most secure election of all of human history. Actually, that's what I'd probably imagine.
There we go. All right. So So let me tell you how stupid that was what Larry just did, okay? First of all, he understand what really, maybe he doesn't understand what went down, but those of us who were here, we understood what went down, and we was like, what the hell did you just say? So when you say that the election was done fair and square, now you can't sit up here and claim that your election wasn't done fair and square, because that's going to make you a hypocrite. So the thing about it is that he lost a lot of Republicans when he went on the record and say, no, Trump lost fair and square. And now the Trump supporters was like, oh, really? Really, Larry? Oh, okay. Let's see how you win. Let's see how, and guess what? That's exactly what had happened. He can't sit up here and play that card. There was a lot of cards he could have played, but he can't. Let me tell you something. Regardless of if you're going to be on Trump's team, you're going to have to be on his team. And by the way, not on Trump's team, but in my opinion, some things didn't happen in some places which caused someone to not be in the White House. That's all I'm going to say. So the deal is that I was there live streaming that election. I know what I saw. And if you think I'm going to sit up here and believe otherwise, although YouTube, you're right, the election was fair. The election was fair and square. There was no there was no fraud whatsoever. But I was there. I know what I saw. I know what happened. And therefore, I mean, even though I'm not on Trump's team, I know, what I saw. And I would never say what Larry Elder has said.
So as fair as the U.S. election was, like I said, it was the most fair election of all of human history, the California election even more fair. I mean, yes, there might have been problems with, ballots with holes in them, people showing up to vote and to be told they already voted, all this suspicious stuff. But putting that to the side, I think Larry Elder, any politician, especially in a state that's purple, but it's not purple, it's blue, right, has to be able to, okay, let me look at both sides a little bit. Because I have all these disaffected liberals who don't want Gavin to come back. And maybe they won't vote for me, but maybe they won't show up, right? And so if he had went on with that, I don't need to count your counter arguments. Just give me a second. If he went on with that, but the election and was asked about it, then the media would have even more branded him as a Trump acolyte. And I guess the counter argument is they're going to do that anyway, and so you might as well push it, right? But there has to be some sort of balance in these politicians because let's face it,
there is no balance. There's no balance. That's no balance.
There has to be some.
There's no balance. You're going to have to be team red or not. You can't play. And I'm gonna say something about the centrists in a minute, because that's the only thing. That's the only person who's going to save these blue states, not somebody on the right. But you can't be balanced. You can't sit up here and play both sides of the fence. So that was the number one thing that he did that really made Republicans, especially a lot of ride to die Trump supporters. When you said that about, Trump lost fair and square, a lot of Trump supporters gave you the middle finger. The second thing is that it makes me, and I said this, did I say this last week? I don't think I said this last week. If I did, let me know, BJ. He should have played the race card when that white woman in a gorilla mask threw an egg at him. It amazes me the hypocrisy of these conservatives. You want to play the race card when you want to brag about black unemployment, when you want to talk about brag about black voters, when you want to talk about getting black people off the so-called Democratic plantation. But when you have an opportunity to shame Democrats and to make Gavin Newsom, because I would have played that race card to the T, baby. I would have been like, Gavin Newsom supports racism. He does not condemn what has happened to a black man over in Venice, California. But no, he wants to play the moral high ground by saying, no, I don't play the race card. Well, that's funny. You sure did play the race card when you want to talk about white people, white slave owners should get reparations. So which one is it? And listen, you Republicans need to decide if you're going to play the race card or you not. Stop being flippy floppy. Stay true to it or get off of it. Stop playing the race card or play it. But you can't sit up here and act like you're on the moral high ground by saying, I don't think I'm going to play the race card today, but maybe next week I may pick it up. The demon rats play that card all the time. They never put it down, and they never miss an opportunity to play it. And now y'all want to act all high and mighty and not play the race card? I have no sympathy for no daggone Larry Elder. I didn't want to show this side of myself last week because I really, really was hoping I was wrong about the election. I was really hoping. I knew in my heart I wasn't. I do this for a living. I know how this goes.
You don't want to swing right on someone who's at a very important election because we wanted him to win. Even if I like Larry Elder a lot, maybe you disagree with him on certain things, but definitely better than Gavin Newsom. But here's the positive to all this. There's a positive. California is going to be a decaying state. People are leaving en masse. Let Democrats destroy it some more, and all the Republicans that come out, please, Republicans, move to purple states, turn them red. They're going to keep, because California is, 12% top tax rate on top of the federal. We have soaring crime. We have property prices are crazy. It's not livable for most people unless you're living off government benefits. And then, so when Republicans leave, yes, California's going to stay blue forever. I mean, you can't switch it. That's a done deal. But maybe we can get some positives so we can make that the example. Say, yeah, look how bad California is, and we'll get the voters coming to other places.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. I have not lied to you yet about these elections. I have not lied to you about how to win them. It's just that you guys don't want to listen to me because I'm not a cultist. I don't cater to somebody's personality because they make me feel nice and tingly inside. The only way you're going to get anyone that's not a Democrat to win these blue cities is if you have a libertarian who's a registered Democrat run in these cities. That's the only way. You cannot have somebody who is bright red go into California, go into New York, and talk about I'm going to clean this up. Those days are not here. The party line has gone so far to extreme on both sides, okay, that the only way, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is it going to take a flippy floppy freaking fish centrist to sit up here and register as a demon rat and then still have hardcore conservative views like our boy Manchin, right? John Manchin.
I don't know if the extremes are really on the right. I think the extremes are really much to the left, but I agree with you. It's social media has made it so totalitarian and one-party system that those Democrats are never going to switch over. I disagree with the extreme on the Republican side because Joe Manchin might be more moderate, but he's from West Virginia, so he's from a red state. And look who we have.
But Joe Manchin is a Democrat. That's the same. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Joe Manchin is running things because he is a centrist. He's not a conservative. Everybody comes to me, he's a conservative Democrat. There's no such thing. He's a centrist. He's a centrist who leans a little bit to the left, but he has a lot of right-leaning policies.
10 years ago, he'd be a radical 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, he's looking up. But, we have Mitt Romney. We have, what's her face, Cheney. We have Asa Hutchinson. So we have plenty of people who are, not towing the Republican line on our side. I don't think Republicans have gone more extremist at all. There's a New York Times study that looks at the two party platforms for the past 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. And you see it going like this. And then Democrats veer sharply to the left. And the Republicans kind of like that, kind of as wavy, like that. And then Democrats just going hard to the left. That's what's happening to them.
But here's the deal. They control social media. They control a lot of the news. They control a lot of the narrative, okay? So therefore, you're going to have somebody like a Joe Manchin and that other chick, the blonde one, what's her name? She wears
Kristen Sinema. Kirsten Sinema.
Yeah, she too is a centrist. So the only way you're going to get any of these, and I'm talking about these hardcore commie states or commie cities, But in this case, California is just that. It's California is a communist. There's no way you're gonna get somebody from the red to do that. I know you guys like, well, Arnold Schwarzenegger did it. That look at the times. Look at how things have changed. We were very patriotic. That boy was talking about how he loved America, and the person who threw an egg at him had the right to do it because that's freedom of speech. And now the freaking daggone old ass guzzler is talking about screw your freedom, screw your freedom. We're not in those times anymore.
Well, remember Arnold Schwarzenegger won in a recall election. There's only been 2 recall elections in California's history. This one and the one Arnold Schwarzenegger won. And it's a lot easier to win a recall election than a regular election. And so he also, one thing he had that Larry Elder did not have is that he had that celebrity status.
Yeah, he had celebrity status. Yeah.
And I was too young, or I wasn't in California. I don't remember the media coverage. I highly doubt they're calling him a white supremacist. They always call Republicans white supremacists. They probably let him go a little bit, if I had to imagine.
They don't call Tim Scott white supremacist. I told you all about that already. You should have fact checked me. They don't call Tim Scott white supremacist. And I told you they called Larry Elder white supremacist because Larry Elder said that white slave owners should get reparations. Why would you say something so silly like that, Larry?
They call a lot of black Republicans white supremacists who have not said anything controversial like that. Maybe not Tim Scott.
No. Fact check me right now and give me some names. Every black person they called a white supremacist has pushed some radical idea that pissed off the black community.
I'm going to say name, but I don't want you to explode.
No. We will not mention that person's name, but that person has pushed off some stuff that pissed off the black community. So, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even like the black community, and I wouldn't even say something like that. Just here's the deal. You can't sit up here and pretend to wake up the black community, but then say some very radical, extreme stuff that pissed them off. That's what I hate. That's what I hate.
So if I could defend Larry Elder, and I don't know the context, but this is my imagination would take me. So Barry Goldwater back in the day, he was against the Civil Rights Act, but he was a pretty libertarian guy. And the reason he was, because he was like, okay, well, I actually don't like how the federal government is going to mandate things because I'm about living in government. I want states to do that sort of thing. But of course, in this issue, you can't go be against the Civil Rights Act. And so everyone's view as a racist, all these different things. It's not good enough to say for constitutional reasons. So for Larry Elder, I imagine what he was referring to is that, like, constitutionally back then, we have things called public takings. And so there could be a legal argument that slave owners would be entitled to compensation at that time. I don't really know.
I'll send you the video.
It's a stupid thing no good politician would ever say in their right mind.
I'll send you the video. He brought it up as a matter of factly because they was talking about reparations, and he was making the argument that if anybody deserves reparations, it is white slave owners because they lost their economy. They lost their finances when they had to give up slavery. Why would you say something so crazy? Why? And you sit up here and want to grift to the black community as if you give a damn about these people, right? Like, seriously, dude.
Well, I disagree with Larry Elder's intentions, but I will say this: we can agree on this. If he never said that, and if this election was obviously this election was the most safe in human history, but if it was actually if it was that safe, right? Larry Elder still would have lost California. Looking at how much he was beaten by, it doesn't seem like he had any sort of chance, no matter what he said.
I don't disagree on that one. But then again, I won't even know because a lot of Republicans did not come out and vote for him because he turned his back on Trump. And so I can't even look at those numbers and say, yeah, he lost bigly, but I'm telling you, a lot of Republicans stayed home. A lot of Republicans did not. They took away. I was there. I'm suspended on Twitter. And I remember, he was trending because of that. Because when he said that Trump won fair and square, holy smokes, everybody lost their crap, including, oh gosh, what is the cat? It's the white cat who has the glasses on. He's really popular on Twitter. I should know this cat because I used to be subscribed to him on
what guy or
no, it's an account that have that cat turd. Thank you. When cat turd goes against you, baby, it's a done deal. Cat turd took that video. That's how I found out about it. Cat turd took that video and retweeted the video of Larry saying that Trump lost fair and square, and said, my vote, something about you bootlegger. He called him some kind of name, not bootlegger. I'm sorry, he didn't call him a bootlegger. He said something about your turncoat, and you will not get my vote. Something to that matter. Like it was like a blasphemous thing. And when he hold on, one more thing. When Cat Turd made that tweet, taking back his support for Larry Elder, I went down that thread, and ooh boy, thousands of people were feeling the same way. I said, well, rip Larry Elder's campaign.
This is why we, as Republicans, should not punch right unless it's necessary. And it's not necessary to do when someone is competing for the governor of the biggest state in the country. It is okay to do if you want to, like, I know you've gone after Turning Point a lot. That's fine. I mean, it's Turning Point, there's ways to criticize them, and they're not running for an election right now, right? We bite our tongue on those sorts of things because we want Larry Elder to win. Even if we don't agree with him on everything, I like him a lot, but we want him to win. So let's not punch right until. That's why you said last week how you didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I didn't want to influence anyone. However, that's just I'm just responsible because I'm a political streamer, so I have to be more responsible. However, I don't blame people. Listen, these people are very loyal to Trump, so. I can't sit up here and blame them for taking their support from him. You either on board or you off. You can't be the wishy-washy when it comes to Trump. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And especially if you depend upon his endorsement, and I think Trump didn't endorse him after that. Like, Trump was on his team. I forgot about this part. Trump was speaking highly of Larry until Larry made that interview saying Trump lost fair and square. So then Trump stopped talking highly of Larry and started pushing Herschel Walker and Vernon Jones.
Yeah. He should have taken the more political approach to it and said, even if he believes it's fair and square, he's saying, listen, there's a lot of suspicious things that went on. So how can we ever be really sure that it was a fair election? Because that way the media won't come after him too much if he says, hey, there's some suspicious things going on we don't know, as opposed to it is fair, and which pisses off Republicans. You kind of said it. He's not a politician.
I'm also going to hold on. I'm going to do something that's going to really blow y'all mind. I'm also going to defend those people who turned their backs on Larry Elder, because we have had enough of rhinos, and I'm not calling Larry Elder a rhino. He is not a rhino. But when you can't even stay loyal to your team, you can't be trusted. And that is the problem with the Republican Party. We have a lot of spineless rhinos who say, who get into office and they don't do their jobs. And I believe conservatives are tired of that. And once they see a glimpse of a possible rhino, they're not going to put them in office. We already got enough of them as it is in office, and they got to get out. So, I defend them also of also not voting for Larry and pulling their vote when they realized that he was not defending Trump.
So I won't defend them because I don't think that what Larry Elder said. I don't agree with it, but I don't think it raises to the level of we should want Gavin Newsom to win. However, I would say there are circumstances in which that could happen. I mean, you think that Larry Elder crossed the line, or you at least defend the people who would think that. I would say that Bruce Jenner would be crossing that line because, and I know we have to be careful what we say here,
I don't
but
know. I said we didn't have to even bring that person up, and you brought that person up.
I told you it might come up
I'm
because
like,
that.
we don't even have to
I'm gonna
bring
watch.
that person
I'm
up, and
watching
you
that
bring
later.
them up.
My point is that's someone who we can't support on the right because that changes
But that
everything
wasn't
about
the
what
only
we're doing.
Republican. We had
No,
several
no, no.
Republican, so-called
What I'm
Republicans
saying is
voting.
that person would cross the line in a way. To me, the way that some people might think that Larry Elgin crossed the line, that okay, no, I'm not going to vote for him anymore, right? When it comes to Bruce Jenner, that would have crossed the line for me, right? When it comes to other Republicans, I don't even know who else is in there. My point is, yeah, there could be a point, but it should be serious enough. I don't think what he said was serious enough that he should give the state back to Newsom.
Okay, if you're not on, and I'm, by the way, not a Trumpster. I'm not on the Trump train, okay? If you're not for Trump, who is going to run in 2024, okay? Who is basically, you might as well say the face of the Republican Party. If you're not on his team, then why should Trump supporters vote for Larry Elder?
Do you think he's going to be running 2024?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He made an announcement about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought he's been hinting about it because I've been hearing some
I
grumblings
should
that he
have.
may not.
2 days ago, no, DeSantis is not running. He already said he's not. 2 days ago, Trump said, with the way that the state of America, I have to run. That's what he said. I have to run. He's run. He made that 2 days ago. This past Monday, he said it.
By the way, have you guys seen? Have you seen people in the chats? Have you seen recent pictures of him? He looks younger and better than ever. How old is this guy? He's like getting younger. The stress doesn't affect him. Have you seen these pictures of him? I don't know if there's filters.
Yeah, I haven't. I've been just
skin
listening.
clear.
I've been listening to the audio version of his interviews, but I haven't been looking at him. No.
He just looks better and younger. It's weird. I don't know what his routine is. I mean, I guess it's cheeseburgers and Diet Coke or something like that. I don't know, but he's looking good. And if you see him, you're just like, that could be a not young, vibrant man, but that's not Joe Biden.
Oh, it's not going to be Joe Biden by a long shot. I mean, Trump is sharp because Trump basically stays into the culture of what's going on. His mind is sharp. And I think when you are a numbers man, which Biden is not, when you deal with the money that Trump has to deal with, you have to have a sharp mind. So I mean, I don't suggest this, but I mean, I'm sure Trump can stay active in politics in his early 90s because his mind is that sharp. I have never, and if I'm wrong, somebody in the comment section let me know. But people who are really good with numbers, they don't suffer from Alzheimer's, and they tend to have a sharp mind well into their elder years.
Definitely the opposite is true. Is that when you have Alzheimer's, that's like my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and like one thing he'd be talking normally, and if you ask him anything about numbers, it would be like, "Hey, how old am I?" He'd be like, 50, no, 20." Like he wouldn't know because that's one of the first things that go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you get into numbers, saying his mind stays sharp, and he was so proud of his little cognitive test.
Yeah, he could tell. I don't know what it was, but it was a test to see if you're still lucid. So it wasn't like an IQ test. He didn't get like an A+. He's got a pass, right?
All right.
But the one thing about Trump that you'll notice, and this is so, I wish we would talk about this more. If you listen to Trump when he was in his 20s and 30s, he doesn't sound that different than how he sounds now.
Yeah.
If you listen to Biden in his 20s and 30s, oh my God, there's such a difference. He might be still an idiot back then, but he's lucid, he's forceful, and now he just stares blankly and just looks around and doesn't know where he is. And it's such a different person that you don't see that with Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's see.
This TikTok video?
Let's see this TikTok video.
We got to show it to them.
Yeah. By the way, guys, at the top of the hour, you know what I'm saying, if you want to donate through Streamlabs or through Super Chats, I will read them after the next. This is going to be a very good video segment we're going to show you guys in a minute. So if you want to donate to help out the show, you know, throw some shekels our way, you can do so with a message and the questions. If you have any questions, they will not see. A lot of my taters think that if they donate, it's going to interrupt the show, and I'm like, no, the Streamlabs doesn't go through the show at all. So that's that. So it won't go through the show. It won't interrupt the show. So if you want to do it, you can, and I will read it at the top of the hour. I mean, after we finish this segment. Okay.
Speaking about shekels, Tree, you know, today is Yom Kippur. You didn't even wish me a happy Yom Kippur.
Oh, happy Yom Kippur. Did I say it right?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, yeah, you pretty much got it. This is the holiday where all the lawyers and accountants get a day off. That's how you know it's Yom Kippur. It's actually a pretty important one. I think I'm supposed to be not on at least electricity and fasting or something. I don't know. I forget.
Man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad
Happy
I'm a
Yom Kippur to our
heathen.
Jewish
Oh, I'm so
viewers.
glad I'm a heathen. Okay. So this is one another CRT teacher exposed.
There's just so many of them.
Yeah, there are.
We could do a segment every single show about this topic. But
This
one is
one right here hits me.
major.
This one, hold on, let me tell you guys something about this one. This one hits home for me because I want to show you what, and I got to be careful because I want this video to be monetized. I want you to know what a real white supreme pizza looks like, okay? Shout outs to Salty Cracker. I stole that from you. Like I said, send me a bill if I can't be using it without your copyright permission. And this guy, when I listened to him, I made a video. Y'all don't know this, but I made a video. It's a 30-minute video, but I'm not going to upload it. But I was doing so many, I cursed so bad in that video. And I decided not to upload it because it was so full of anger on my part. So I thought this was a great video to show here, and basically talk it out, you know, in a reasonable manner. So here we go. Let me get.
Let's try. Let's try to be reasonable. Logic will prevail.
All right, so let's get to it over here. All right, here we go. Should we do it?
I'm already pissed. I'm already pissed off.
I'm trying to figure out if we should do it here or nah. I think we'll do it this way. We'll do it on this side instead. So here we go. This is a teacher from excuse me. Thanks to the wonderful account of Libs of TikTok. All right, I've been checking out their feed every day now. Okay, so the Libs of TikTok had put this teacher on blast. Now, before I show you what he says, and he says some really white supreme piece of stuff under the notion of CRT, because he keeps using the word whiteness. Now, remember, anytime you hear the word whiteness, that comes from CRT, that is showing that whiteness is in its direct relations to white people, and white people bad, black people are social victims, and there's that. So, but I want to talk, I come from the DMV area, the Washington, D.C. area, and when I looked at the school, right, this is the school, well, they deleted, the heat got on them, the school just completely deleted their entire account. They just but I went to my video because, like I said, I did a video on it, and this is what I took the screenshot from my video. So this is the video of the school. I mean, this is the screenshot of the school that came from my video that I did a day ago. So this is Blacksburg High School. I want you guys to listen to me. Very important that you listen to what I'm about to tell you, okay? Blacksburg High School is in Montgomery County, Virginia. Would you like to know how many black people live in this area? Give a percentage. Give a percentage of how many black people live in Blacksburg city. Blacksburg is a city that's in Montgomery County in Virginia. What a percentage you think is 10%, 12%? For how many percentage of black people do you think live in this county?
Asking you in the chat.
I'm talking to
I have
you.
no idea. Oh, well, I think you're hinting that it's pretty low, and I think that the places that are the most white can sometimes be the places that come up with the craziest stuff here because they feel kind of guilty that yes, we live apart from the black people, right? We don't know. We just want good school zones. That's always the excuse. We live here because we want good school zones, so we live away from them. I'm gonna guess because he says low, it's 15%. It's in Virginia.
3.65%.
Yep,
Now
that's how it
listen.
works.
Now listen. Don't take that 3.65% seriously. There are a lot of mulattoes in Blacksburg, the city of Blacksburg. So when I mean mulattoes,
4.53%.
meaning that the mama is white and the father's black, or the mama is black and the father's white. And we all know that when they have these kind of kids, they always claim black. Now being black is so oppressive that you claim black over white.
So really they have less than that because you're saying that of the 3.65%, half of them are a quarter black or an octoroon,
Yeah.
1/8 black.
Yeah. And then you got another percentage that's just the help. No. These people are loaded. These people have a lot of freaking money. These people have people that go in there and cook their meals, clean their clothes, and they're going to tutor their children. This is a very rich area of Virginia.
Yeah. So let's not
if you have a house that's $500,000, that's considered the hood. So this is what I'm saying. So you understand why I was so angry when I saw this, because I'm like, this is well over 90% white area. Excuse me, white area. So these people are acting like they care about black people when they don't. They don't even live around. He doesn't even have any black students. That's just how white the place is.
Listen, I don't want to get into their heads too much, but it makes them feel good to pretend to care about black people. And if they do care about black people, their logic is completely misguided. And I don't want to say too much before he watches this video, but we'll wait for him to say some of the things, I think, and then we can comment on it.
All right, guys. So you're gonna see why I was so angry. Okay, when I saw this, okay, this lily white man in his lily white school, in his lily white community, in his lily white city, in his lily white county is going to talk about how we as black people are actually savages and that manners is basically white oppression, whiteness, oh my God. Hold on.
To defend him, he does get this from CRT. I mean, Robert DiAngelo is white, but a lot of them are these black intellectuals like Ibram X. Kendi, right? So it's not like he's making this up. I
know he's not making it up, but to sit up here, if you don't even associate with black people, you don't even have black people in your class, you don't even have them as your friends, how are you going to sit up here and believe something that's told to you? Well, I'm sorry. Americans do that all the time. My bad.
Kamala Harris said so.
All right, let's listen to this. Here we go.
I made a comment on one of Miss April's recent videos about PBIS, in which I stated that PBIS is white supremacy with the hug, and a lot of y'all wanted to know more about that, so here we go. First of all, thank you to Jack Copa, who reminded me that Dina Simmons was the first to coin this term, so thank you, Jack, so much. So if PBIS concerns itself with positive behaviors, we have to ask ourselves, okay, well, what are those positive behaviors? And it's things like making sure that you're following directions and making sure that you're sitting quietly and you are in your seat and all these things that come from white culture.
White culture is sitting in your seat. White culture is behaving properly. What is he trying to say? Oh my God, I'm getting triggered. He's saying that black people are like monkeys and that we can't do nothing but swing from the chandelier and poop in our hands and throw it at one another. What the hell are you talking about?
This is a Democratic argument. How are they supposed to get IDs? They don't know how to get onto the internet, right? So this reminds me of that. I don't know if it was an article or a web page from one of the Smithsonian museums. You remember this one, in which they're talking about white supremacy or whiteness, and they're saying merit, having a merit-based system is whiteness. Being on time is whiteness.
Yeah, being on time. Being on time.
Being on time, by the way, it's almost kind of true. Internationally, most of the places are never on time. If you've ever been to Miami, they call it Cuban time or Miami time. Anyway,
I agree, but see, I moved to Germany and I lived there for 5 years because I hated tardiness. And let me tell you something, there's no punctual. If you show up someplace 10 minutes early, you're considered late in Germany. So
yeah. And so anything positive, again, objective truth, merit, working hard, they list them as whiteness, which is this is the weirdest form of white supremacy, because it's white supremacy in the fact that it's like, we need to stop being white supremacists and stop these good qualities, which these good qualities aren't necessarily white, at least in a biological sense. And they make it seem like everyone else are savages, like you said, but then they promote that savagery, right? They say, these are bad things. We shouldn't have merit. We shouldn't be on time. They're like, literally, like, conservatives have been talking for so long about how the left is destroying Western culture and deconstructing it, right? We have the term barbarians inside the gate. But this is so explicit. They're literally calling out good qualities, and they're saying, these are bad, these are whiteness, dismantle it. Well, what are you replacing it with? A not merit-based system, not being on time, being lazy. What is it? Sitting in your seat.
I really reject the notion that sitting quietly is white culture. I mean, I'm sorry. Have you seen Asians? You know what I'm saying? Have you seen people from Vietnam? Have you seen people from Guam, Japan? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry. I mean, I know Hitler wanted to make them honorary Aryan, but they do sit very quietly. They are very polite people, okay? Oh my God. The thing about it is that, and this is why black folks from the left can't talk to me about nothing. Because you sit up here and let stuff like this just go popping off on, just telling black people that it's okay to just be disruptive, I mean, it's bad enough we are loud as it is, but dang, man. Like, right here is,
One of the things is that, like, I think Asian people, and you can always argue whether some part of this is biological, part of this is social. I mean, everything is a combination of both. Asian people tend to be more introverted, not always in all cases. Black people tend to be more extroverted, obviously not in all cases, right? But you can't go then translate that to saying you can't sit on your seat and not talk, because Black people have that ability. And when you're making it seem like everything good is a bad thing, it allows people who are underperforming to have excuses for underperforming, right? It's like, oh, well, maybe merit's not like, being on time is white supremacy. It doesn't matter if I'm late. Or sitting in my seat is white supremacy. Okay, I'm going to get up and walk around. It exacerbates the behavior that we don't want people to have.
Unbelievable. But here's the deal. I just want you white folks to know, he's not teaching this to black folks. Okay, I told you, he doesn't have any black students. He is indoctrinating white students.
Well, 3% black. If only there's one black student, you can imagine how he treats that one student.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Come up to the front of the class and explain how the culture should be. 7-year-old's like, I don't know.
All right, here we go. Let's finish.
One last thing I want to say. If you guys know about this guy, that is one of the most annoying things to me. I know it's been talked about, but like liberals, especially people from this sort of culture, the managerial upper class elite. Well, there's the arrogance, and the arrogance is translated through that upspeak they have.
Yeah.
So he ups to the end of the sentence, and that's how you signify to other people in the establishment that you're part of their club. Right, it's kind of a feminine way of talking. Or that's what, like, I guess the Valley Girl speech in like the '90s. This is associated with that. But now all have that upspeak at the end of the sentence, and now it sounds like you're not confident. Right, to us it sounds like you're an idiot, but to them that's how they signify we're in the same class, social class as each other.
We must understand that the police pose a danger to black people in the black community. So what we must do is get rid of them, and that will save black people from the oppressive police who are here to hunt them down just like their ancestors.
I can only imagine what liberal women feel dating liberal guys when they don't know whether they're gay or not. Because whenever I hear these guys, I'm like, is he gay? Is he straight? I have no
No, he
idea.
no. Do you not see that flag behind his head?
Oh, now I see it now.
Hold on. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Let me take you to his profile. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
That's in every classroom. But it goes to my point. You don't really know.
Here's his pro. I'm sorry. Let me show you the research here, okay? Baby, there is, as a hag, I know them when I see them, okay? He didn't even have to show me all these colors for me to not know. I knew this instantly.
See, my gaydar isn't working right now. I live in...
Okay, but hold on, but look at all this virtue signaling. You got the LGBT flag in a power fist. You got the Black Lives Matter of all shades of black and brown people in a power fist. Oh, you got to have the Transformers up in here, and then but back then you got Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Now let's look at the bio here. English educator is all. The last woman who had the flag was an English teacher. Did you know the one who made her students pledge allegiance to the flag? She was an English teacher.
I can't imagine anything that's actually more white supremacist than English because it's a language that literally, because of our conquering, took over the whole entire planet, and we're teaching it. I mean, I'm completely
that is inconvenient. That's inconvenient facts, by the way.
It's the most colonial systems you could possibly have is the fact that our language took over the planet.
Then he has reader, writer, laughter, hashtag disrupt text. I don't know what that means. Supporter. He's a hashtag disrupt text supporter. I don't know what that means. Wearer of cardigans. What does anybody now see? I must be out of the gay culture or something. This must be a gay thing on the left. I don't know what that means. A wearer of cardigans. Okay.
Disrupt text. A movement to rebuild the literary canon using anti-bias, anti-racist critical literacy lens. Basically, remove Shakespeare, remove all the white people out of English literature. That's what disrupt text means. The white supremacy. And it's
always these white people who are their biggest. Well, I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, black people are basically self-destructing themselves, and white people are doing it to themselves too. Then he goes, "I believe in children." Okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Teaching is political. No, it's not. This is what he says on, and of course he got to have the pronouns he, him. Teaching is political.
To the left, everything is political, and that's what's really bringing our country down. Sports are political. Teaching is political. Your sexual status, what you do in the bedroom is political. Everything is political to them, and that's how they're able to take over. Because the right doesn't play that game. The right doesn't say everything's political. We go, no, limited governments, do what you want, and have your freedoms over here. The left goes, nope, that we can talk about that. We control that. We control that. The right needs to fight back a little bit when it comes to that.
Yeah. All right, so let's finish this.
The idea of just sitting quiet and being told stuff and taking things in a passive stance is not a thing that's in with many cultures. So if we're positively enforcing these behaviors, we are by extension positively enforcing elements of white culture, which therefore keeps whiteness at the center, which is the definition of white supremacy.
Here we go with the whiteness, and that's the end of it. I think that's the end of it, right? Yeah. So did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said, Taters? He said that sitting still, passively taking things in. He said, sitting here, passively taking things in is part of white culture, which is part of whiteness, which is part of white supreme pizza.
So that means listening. Doesn't that mean sitting there and passively taking things in?
I cannot listen. I'm supposed to listen with the intention of responding, but not listen with the intentions of comprehending. See, because when I argue with emotional people, which is a lot in both races, they are not listening to comprehend. They are listening to basically react or to basically just give a response. But they're not taking the time to listen to what you said, think it over, and then come up with a response. So in other words, for example, a black person, according to this white supreme piece, or this racist person, when someone's come up to the black person and say, do you know that there have been hundreds, if not thousands, of black men who have had who were armed but were taken alive without being shot at? And instead of you listening to comprehend and either ask for receipts or agree with it, or but steady on like, what are you talking about? I'm not listening to no racist FBI statistics. See, the FBI, you're supposed to be confrontational. They want black people to be confrontational when they are told things, and to not think, to not use our critical thinking skills, to not use our logical part of our brain. We're supposed to use the emotional part of our brain and react illogically.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that's through single motherhood. I mean, women are more likely to act like that than men are.
That's
and if you're
true.
A man, you grow up
Yeah.
And if you're a man without a father, you learn from your mother's example. And if she grew up without a father, she learned from her mother's example. And it kind of goes on. And so you have a culture in which it's very, very emotional. And there's a lot of intact black families that break apart from this ideology. But I'm going to bring it back to fatherlessness every single time. But that's a huge
You should, because that's the problem. When you deal with someone who don't have a good father in their life, or a mature father, they act like their mothers. It's like, that's that. Okay, here's another video of his, and this one is like, whiteness is a racial ideology.
I think this one's worse.
All right, here we go.
This is an idea that I think a lot of people have, and I want to call that in lovingly just for a moment.
Lovingly.
Yes, America contains many cultures and many races. That is not wrong. However, the problem comes when we don't think about this idea or this argument in a racialized way when it comes to power and power dynamics. In America, as in many other parts of the Western world, whiteness is the dominant racial ideology.
Whiteness is not an ideology. Whiteness is not an ideology. I mean, wait. CRT can be considered an ideology, and within CRT, they have whiteness. But because they're saying, listen, you guys gotta understand, if you're white, you're bad. You're supposed to be the oppressor, all right? You are inherently racist. That's what they're saying. And because I'm a black woman, I am forever oppressed underneath you. And whenever you're around me, you have an opportunity to oppress me. So are you serious? Does it look like that BJ can oppress me? Are we really going down that road here? Seriously?
Yeah, I think that the issue is that I think that what they're trying to say is that they're trying to criticize Western culture, but Western culture isn't a racial culture. I mean, one of the great things about America, at least in the past, is they can come here from any race and you can embrace a pro freedom. This Western culture is private property. There's a lot of different things with the Western culture they don't like, and they call whiteness because criticizing white people is very, very in style right now, right? If you criticize Western culture, it's a little bit different. And so I think that they're trying to say that and tying into a racial ideology as if like, oh, it's the white people oppressing everyone. Now we have this culture that came from Europe that everyone 70 years ago was adhering to. And so like now we're deconstructing the culture in any chance we get and creating craziness everywhere.
But according to fools like this, the fact that I like to show up on time, I like to pay my bills, especially my mortgage, I like to pay that 3 months ahead of time, I'm behaving in whiteness.
Yeah.
This is my problem with this entire CRT thing, is that when you do things that are for your betterment, when you do things that doesn't cause problems from other people and that's civilized, that's acting in whiteness. You mean to tell me I can't just do good things? Basically, I want to have, having a 830 FICO score is actually acting in whiteness. I was... They were saying that any black person with a 700 and above FICO score is actually catering to whiteness underneath the white man's financial system.
It's weird because they'll go after like payday lenders and talk about these crazy interest rates, and they'll criticize that, but they'll also criticize the idea of paying your bills on time, which is getting the lower score and making you so you have to take out these payday loans and get high interest rates. So they're getting it from both sides of things. It's horrible because for a while, black people and white people, when it comes to how much income in America they're making, after the Civil War especially, black people really started to prosper by themselves and built a lot by themselves, and they had intact families to the degree white people had. And you see income levels start going from white to black closer and closer. 1930s started plateauing. The 1950s and 60s started just exacerbating, and now the income gap is completely in the opposite direction.
Because of the culture, because of the let me get the bling instead of paying my bills. Let me lease this what is the big Explorer. Let me rent this. Let me basically live in this extravagant house and I mean to live a champagne lifestyle on a beer budget. This is what they have.
Imagine what the KKK would have thought about the current Democratic Party. They'd be so excited.
They'd be so happy. They would be like, "We ain't gotta do nothing there, boy."
Because Democrats' social programs destroy black families, and then Democrats culturally have been destroying the whole entire West, but especially black people. And now they're catering directly to black people, saying, "No, you don't need to succeed because you're a victim."
Hold on, black folks are not making it any better. When you got a dumb black male on a freaking boat tossing money. Who was that? Do you know who that was? That rapper, some rapper tossing money, actual money off of the boat into the water. It was thousands of dollars, by the way.
As a Jew, I really condemn throwing money into the water. So let me just condemn that act right there. Don't bring that up at Yom Kippur, please.
Okay. Hold on. Let's listen. Let's finish listening to this.
So when we think of power in terms of race, whiteness has the most power.
Okay, hold on. Do you really think he said whiteness has the most power? So he's saying what? He's not saying only white people, but black people who behave like white people. Do you believe that whiteness, in according to their terminology, have the most power? Or is it, in my opinion, I believe blacks and browns and
institutional power. Yeah, I mean, there's affirmative action in every organization in the country, whether it's businesses, whether it's academia, whether it's the government, local government, and federal government. When it comes to overall power, I mean, that's just the racial part of it. It's still more so the class divide. Again, I live in a poor white area. And I moved from downtown Chicago, and I was in a richer white area downtown Chicago. And class differences are something that the left used to talk about a lot. I mean, 10 years ago, and they don't talk about it at all. There is a lot of class power, and yes, disproportionately white, Asian, Jewish, but they don't mention that anymore. And now it's about racial power, which doesn't really exist.
I don't think so. I mean, no, it does exist.
Also poor.
Racial power exists, and that's why white people like this POS use it, okay? Because listen, the best way that white liberals can shame any other white person, regardless of where their political alignment is by saying, "Oh, you just hate black people. Oh, you just want black people to die," okay?
It's also a lot more powerful when you hear from white people, "Yes, we are evil and we are racist." If you're black and you hear white people saying, they're like, "Oh, shoot." I mean, it's a lot more powerful than black people
because they're pick-me's. They're pick-me's. They want to be picked. Like, I'm the good white one. See, I'm not mean like my white other people, like the white brothers and sisters that I'm with. I'm the good white.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this. I hate this guy so much, dude. But at least I'm not as God, that video. I'm so glad I did it on this show instead of at least that video.
So while there are people of many different races and cultures living in America, the fact that whiteness is the dominant racialized power structure, that is the problem, and that is why we have to involve race in all of our arguments and considerations.
Involve race in all of our arguments. Involve race in all of our arguments.
We always have to talk about race when it comes to everything. This is how you fracture a multiracial society, on which America is by far the most diverse on the planet. right? So, like, our biggest weakness to exploit is the fact that we all look different from one another, which, again, no other country can match how diverse we are, which doesn't have to be a weakness, but it's a huge weakness when everyone's exploiting it. And he's saying everything you talked about needs to be talked about in the context of race. So you're trying to destroy America in every single aspect you could. Maybe some things are racial, but not everything's racial.
Could you
Definitely not
imagine
racial.
ordering something from the menu and then make it about race?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean,
what about Amazon.com? If I purchase, which I have, a solar panel generator, how is that the white man's fault?
That's supremacy right there. Solar power. I don't know about all
So
that.
really, solar power could be considered a white supremacy thing?
I'm sure it could. I don't have an argument for it right now, though.
I could turn it around and be like, well, isn't it something where who was the one worshiping the sun god, the Imhotep? I mean, the Egyptians, right? Why couldn't I make that about an African thing?
I'll make it up because you hear people like Nick Cannon saying, well, black people are special because we get our power from the sun as melanated people, right? And so maybe it makes sense. Maybe that's like the Black Panther vibranium. Maybe it's just solar power, right? So I guess that would be the opposite of white supremacy. Yeah, I mean the opposite argument. Oh well.
Okay.
At least that's right.
So Libs of TikTok already identified the school and they completely annihilated their Twitter. It doesn't exist anymore. And this is him being an activist. Hold on, can you guys see that? No, you can't. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna briefly take it off of me, and I'm gonna briefly take it off of us, and I'm gonna put it here so you guys can see it. So these are his tweets. The only thing I want to teach he did a typo here. He's supposed to, I think what he meant to say was, the only thing I want to teach is an anti-bias, anti-racist, social justice oriented educator. A social justice oriented educator. And then here's the next one where some white liberal whammon is saying this. Teach young black and brown children that there is nothing wrong with you because of the color of your skin. Okay? Teach young white children there's nothing right about you because of the color of your skin. Okay? And then here go Josh. Yes. And teach white children how to use their white privilege to stand up to oppression. Right. Yeah. Because we black folks we can do nothing without whitey, right? And then
it's not only whites, it's white children need to help out the poor black people.
Yeah. All the white kids he's teaching.
To help you out. Yeah.
So when you see these demon rats talking about CRT is not taught in school, here's a teacher who's actually teaching CRT. Look at this curriculum, okay? On white, what is he saying? Some good news for today. 3 proposals accepted to NCTE 2020. I can't wait to teach and learn together with so many awesome edus. And then he's adding everybody. And then he goes, here's the syllabus on whiteness and dismantling racism in school. That's CRT right there. So they always want to sit up here and say CRT is not.
The second one though.
Huh?
Look what the second one says. This one really annoys me. This
who we are.
Anti-racist, co-conspirators, and literacy educators. Co-conspirators is in we are the rebellious ones. Yeah. We're rebelling against the system. The anti-racist, like, no, you are the system.
Yes.
Like we're co-conspirators in this this crime we're committing against the establishment. No, you gotta accept them on the school board. You are the establishment.
Exactly. And I think this is the last one here. Yeah, this is the last one. So this is him, saying Josh Thomas, education, justice provides a more effective education, blah, blah, blah. So that's his thing. And so hold on, we got one last video. I promise this is the last video. I've been torturing you guys for a while, but we have to show you everything in context because this is blown up. This was uploaded what's this? It was uploaded on Tuesday. That's what I said. It was 2 days ago I did the video. So I did the video on Tuesday when I saw this. And so so much has happened since then. So I don't think they're going to get rid of the teacher because, like I said, that area is very, very white. And they are very, very liberal, commie, progressive. It just doesn't get so much more progressive than these people. So here's the last video. I don't know what this is going to say. Hold on a second. Here we go.
I want to remind educators that instances of police brutality and the murders of black and brown people by police officers is directly connected to the work that we do.
Because if any of those people had been white, chances are they wouldn't have been murdered. Chances are they wouldn't have been brutalized.
Lies.
If you don't believe me, just take a look at all the instances of white people, especially white men, who oftentimes are brandishing weapons and who are taken into custody alive.
Hold on. BS. Go to police activities on YouTube. All right. There are several videos of blacks leaving alive. And there are, as a matter of fact, the video they just uploaded a couple of days ago, dead white man. And I'm gonna tell you what he does. His girlfriend and him. Actually, it was a good video. I loved it. But he was sitting into the passenger seat, and he had a warrant. By the way, white. By the way, he's white, and his girlfriend is white. And they got the girlfriend out of the car, and he went and got into the driver's seat, and the police jumped into the driver's seat, and he said, "Pull over, I'm gonna shoot you." And he said, the police officer said it several times, and then bang, bang, he shot him dead. So what are you talking about? He was unarmed. Because they always talking about some unarmed people or unarmed black people getting killed by the police. So here's a white man who was recently killed. By the way, kudos to the police officer. But what I'm saying is that they always want to run this narrative. If you want some receipts, go to police activity on YouTube, and you can feel so many things to just shut somebody up like him up.
Do you think that video is ever going to circulate on liberal Twitter? No. They only see the videos that perpetuate their narrative. I mean, this goes for both sides, but especially the left, because the right does know what the left talks about. The left never hears other side of things and never sees other videos, so all they see is this epidemic of black men who are unarmed being shot by police. They don't see the video where it shows that the guy, actually he had a knife, he was taking accusation for a knife. They don't see that part. They see the first initial story. Of course, it fits the narrative, and then they go on with it.
Yeah, true. All right.
So much of this is wrapped up in implicit bias, and we have incredible power to change people's biases when they are young. We have to be talking about these issues in schools because every bit of it impacts our work. The ways in which we teach, the ways in which we interact with students, the practices and policies we have, the ways in which they're implemented, there's so much. And many of us are talking about this, and many of us are making these changes, but not enough of us are.
Indoctrination. This is what I'm talking about. You all, those of you who chose to have kids, I'm sorry. Shame on you if you are not actively seeing what's being taught to your child. I'm sorry. The last time I remember, school was about arithmetic, learning about history. Unless you are enrolling in politics, like a political science class, I don't understand why you need to be learning about this fictitious narrative that only white people leave the cops alive if they basically brandish a weapon or something like that. How is that relevant to English class? How is that? Oh my God, these people.
You view education as a way to teach the things that parents are actually supposed to be teaching you. Because we have a lot of absent parents, and these people will take over and they indoctrinate and they teach you to be a human being in the way they want you to. And if you notice, he's very anti-bias, and he goes, we get rid of this bias they have. He doesn't say this, but by implementing our bias.
Right.
He's about you're the wrong bias. You have a normal way of thinking that you're born with, and I have all my crazy BS I learned when I was in college, and I'm going to put it in your head when you're 5 years old. You can't fight back when you're 5 years old. You can't argue against it, right? You have to accept it because when you're 5, that's what happens. And if you're a parent and you don't know what's happening, there's no way you can fight against it. And
True.
These are implanted at an early age when they don't have the critical reasoning skills to fight back.
Okay, so that was the last video. So when this blew up, I think it blew up yesterday. So when it blew up yesterday, people start coming for the school, And then the libs of TikTok said, "Lol, check out the hidden replies of this tweet." And so they were hiding the replies of this school about this racist teacher. This is a racist man. This man thinks that black people are savages. That's all that is. And so that's what they did. They said, "Look, check that out." And then he says the school deleted the tweet where they got a bunch of comments from my followers after I posted. One of the teachers couldn't take the heat, and they just completely just deleted their entire channel. So that is the conclusion of what happened. Like I said, if I don't think this teacher is going to get I don't think he's going to get fired or any disciplinary action is going to happen to him because there are no black students in his class. So, and I don't think white students.
The administrators are just as much or even more liberal than the teachers are. So the administrators like this. So why would they ever punish them? This is like they commend them for this stuff.
Yeah. And I believe that the white parents of the students in his class are okay with that, because let me tell you something about these type of white people. Okay. Like I said, this is from my neck of the woods. Okay. The DMV. These are the white people who feel guilty when they have to come into the not so nice places where they have to look at blacks in poverty. So then in order for them to have the white guilt going on, they're allowing their kids to be indoctrinated because they feel bad that they have money and Lakeisha and Tyrone don't. So in order for them to help those downtrodden blacks that they see in the hood, they're going to virtue signal and teach their children how they, as white children, are the reason why blacks like Lakeisha and Tyrone are in the position that they're in. It's just so stupid.
White guilt is the deadliest disease in the country, even more so than that one Chinese disease that we have going on right now.
Yeah.
It's going to tear us apart.
True. All right, let's see. We're gonna go into, hold on a second. Before I do that, I want to thank the engaged. Hold on, somebody. Hold on, I'm missing some. Oh shoot, hold on a second. We got a donation, but hold on, I gotta get this super chat because I saw it, and I definitely don't want anyone to think I'm not. Because we appreciate you all with the super chats and to help with this show. All righty here. Okay, so we have hold on. Come on, YouTube. Sorry, guys. Okay. Anyway, Jose R says, you two are great together with the $10 donation. Thank you so much, Jose. Let's see. Okay, that's it for the super chat. And then for the engaged few, with $25, thank you so much for that Streamlabs. It's commie queers like this that make me wish I could choose to go to JJ. Okay, thank you so much. They're telling me to get rid of the picture because it's triggering them. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Hold on. Let's get back to just me and BJ here. There. Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you guys so much. And if you would like to, I'm gonna read the last round. If anybody donates between now and before we end, feel free to go ahead and donate through Streamlabs and also through Super Chats. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's see. So it's 9:24. What I'm gonna let you make this call. What do you think we should?
Yeah, let's do the my husband's girlfriend article.
Okay.
I just love it. I found this article and I want to show it to Tree on the show. it's just liberal insanity, and it's just like there's. I mean, let's be real. There's so many of these articles out there. So when you pull it up, it's hot. Oh man, I wish every time someone puts out an article like this, I can go and like click on their Wikipedia page. But a lot of times it's these guest writers. This is a guest writer stuff you can post and be like, well, "What's up, a weirdo are you?" Right?
Okay, hold on a second.
So
All right, let me pull it up here.
yeah.
Do, 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 do,
The
do.
title of this article: My husband's girlfriend is one of my best friends. Here's how our family works. Okay, so
Totally commies writing this.
just like, but the thing is, it's what you expect in your worst dreams. So if you scroll down a little bit, so it starts off. Uh, the fancy word for Elizabeth is metamor. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I prefer sister wife for my husband's girlfriend. My husband started dating her about a year ago, and since then she's become one of my best friends. Okay, I've never been someone into monogamy, and most of my adult relationships have had some level of openness. When I met my spouse, a queer, non-binary person with a
Oh
disability,
God.
8 years ago, he understood that I was not okay with long-term monogamy. So pause right there. If you notice this, a queer, non-binary person, and then he understood, right? So it's non-binary, but he
But
understood.
he
I thought it was
understood.
they. I thought it was
They
they or
they
her,
can't even stick by their own rules.
because it's so complicated that nobody understands it. And so I just want to point out though, like when I first saw this, I'm thinking, I don't know how many people like this exist. Every time I read one of these articles, it's always a queer, non-binary person with a disability, and like these non-binary disability wheelchair-ridden people are just getting laid all the time. Apparently, this guy is juggling multiple women, his wife and all his girlfriends, and he's a non-binary person with a disability, whatever that really means, right there.
I bet
Pretty
you
shocking.
they're all unattractive, and he's average. He's a little below average,
Yeah, he's a little below. Maybe he has some money. I don't know.
probably. But
But I just
they all are like butterface, and they have terrible bodies. So
Well,
that's probably why they can get away with it.
we've all seen the pictures of like the four guys, like like very nerdy soy guys around like the big fat girl, and it's like, oh, these are all my boyfriends or all my husbands, whoever it is, right? These people are not attractive people. People in this community are very undesirable lots of
They're
times,
ugly as
and
hell. That's what they
and they
are.
make themselves that way. You see all the pictures of like show the college girls that go from being normal looking and pretty,
Yeah,
and then 2 years later, head shaved, hairy arms and armpits and all this,
yeah.
and it's like they purposefully make themselves look ugly to fight patriarchy. It's like you're just hurting yourself. And we've all known those people. A lot of girls in college are infamous for this. Were like, I need a change. Like, a lot of girls do. I need a change. I'll dye my hair. Not I'll shave off my all the hair. My head got a pixie cut and become a radical lesbian
Mm.
feminist. So the other thing I noticed about this, already up the bat, just how confused they are. First sentence: My husband's girlfriend, non-binary. They go on to say, when I met my spouse, a non-binary person. So it's your husband, your spouse, he, non-binary. In the first paragraph, they can't even get it together. You're not
Right,
even past that.
right.
Yeah. Okay. We got married about 6 months ago after meeting, primarily for health insurance purposes. My husband was a single dad of 3 kids, and while insurance seemed reckless, we will fit together well as a unit of five, and I knew we would be together for a long time. In the beginning of our marriage, as we were figuring our new status, I was getting used to all of a sudden of being a parent. We decided to focus on the family we were building. So we agreed to be monogamous for the time being, with both understanding that we were building the foundation for a relationship with some level of openness. So now introducing some kids into the equation. We got 3 kids. They're married for health insurance purposes. By the way, when you get married, I think we all probably know people who've got married for military benefits. When you do that, you don't like put it out in the open. You don't say we got married for health insurance purposes, like out in a public article. Maybe that's your internal reason. There's benefits to get married sometimes, right? That part's a little weird. But now they're talking about bringing children into this, which is like the worst part. And you can probably see where this is going,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have children. You got another woman, my sister wife. How's this going to work out? So we have over time we loosened the parameters of our relationship, and I'd occasionally hook up with people on vacation. But neither of us had the energy to do much more than that. During most of that time, we just agreed that we would check in with each other before hooking up with anyone. but it never happened. We just didn't have the energy for it. They're
This
too
is gross.
lazy to have sex with
These
other
people
people.
are so
Yeah.
gross.
The way they talk about it, it's like, oh, I went on vacation. I'll let some guy fuck me. Sorry for cursing.
Ew.
I'll let some guy, but all the time, I'm just too tired. She just lays there. She just lays there and takes like, oh, okay, I'm too tired now. 3 kids are like, Mommy, can we go to the beach? They're at down in South Florida on vacation, and mom's getting railed by some guy she met. The kids are just out like waiting. Like, I thought it was a vacation. I want to go to Disney World.
Oh my
A few
God.
years into our marriage, we had another child, which gave us even less energy for outside dating, and I didn't feel quite at my sexiest immediately after birthing a child anyway. So between 4 kids, my health issues, and everything else relationship was, in practice, mostly monogamous or monogamish, and Dan Savage speak. Luckily, babies grow up and need a little less tending, so in the past couple of years, we have had a little more capacity to date. It's hard to understand our dynamic without understanding us. It's very, very difficult to understand their dynamic. But my partner and I are extremely different people. He's a loving sweetheart who always wants to show me love. I, be frank, am a slut who needs a ton of alone time. We work well. Am I allowed to say that word on YouTube? They said it in Huffington Post. I can say that. I can say
Well,
that word,
you
right?
already said the F word, so I guess it doesn't matter. Now
Yeah.
you can say
No. This is probably one. Probably can say it once. I don't. This is part of what's that one parade that like the slut fest or
the
slut
slut
walk.
walk.
Slut walk. Yeah. Like this whole entire culture of like being proud to be a slut is very strange. Because when you're proud of
Have
something,
you
you're proud of the
seen those
accomplishment.
slut walks though?
I did a video of the slut walk in
Did
Chicago, and
were
I interviewed
any
all the
of them
sluts.
somebody you? I mean, I know you're married and everything, but was any of them was some like? I would have to say, on average, how many of those women will you be if you were young and single? You would consider on.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, there were some attractive girls there, but I talked to one girl, and it was astounding to me because I interviewed her, and then she was talking. She was like, she sounds like the biggest slut. She was like, doesn't matter who you have sex with, have sex for fun, have sex here, sex here. And she was just talking about sex and like how casual it was. And then my plan was like, okay, because I'm gonna just cut her off guard and ask her what her number is. 'Cause that's a funny thing to ask. I'm like, so what's your number? And she goes, I'm a virgin. What? Huh? And then she's like, well, I need to be into someone before having sex. I haven't found that person yet. It's like, what on earth? How is your ideology so much different than your personal preferences? Like, so you acknowledge that your personal preference and the majority of women's are not what you're propagating out there. You
Right.
want to change the idea of what women should want, right? So she's a virgin, but she wants sex to be casual and all that, just not for her.
She's a hypocrite.
Very strange. Yeah, it's a very strange dynamic going on
I
over
would have
there.
called her a hypocrite. I said, well, you're a hypocrite then, because apparently, saying nobody else over here. I mean, when I looked at those marches, those women were unattractive and unappealing and
Yeah,
just
no,
gross looking. And
no,
I mean,
most of them are.
huh?
Most of them were, but the thing is that like all the women that go there aren't like these hardcore feminists because it's becoming a lot more mainstream. So like a lot of college girls, I mean, that were around the area would just come like, yeah, women's rights, slut walk. And it'd be a lot more radical ones, definitely, there as well.
Okay, now I want to
Transformers,
go
all the
ahead.
type.
I don't want. I'm not going to stop you anymore because I want to get into our last news that we
Oh,
have.
sorry, I'll be quick. So, let's see, interesting here. Oh, so then a year ago, my husband met Elizabeth on Tinder. I was really excited about their first date. She goes on to talk about how excited she was for her husband to date other people. I was encouraging him to get a connection. I was generally encouraging for him to connect with someone with similar interests I didn't share. The fact that they sometimes have sex doesn't really seem relevant to me. I guess that's not relevant, right? Just about that, we're both happy. So she meets Elizabeth, and what'd you say? Elizabeth is a lot like me, very smart, opinionated, and loud, and someone very committed to polyamory. Elizabeth also values direct communication. And so if you want the secret to our relationship, it's that pretty much they can tell each other, I want the husband this day, I want him this day, right? Then you get further into this. Throughout the last year, Elizabeth has become a part of our family. I consider her like a sister. Like my husband and me, she keeps saying husband, he's not binary, he uses the right language. She is also queer with a disability. So her her husband is a queer disability, she's a queer disability, and then the girlfriend is a queer with a disability. What do they mean when they say disability? What are they
I don't
talking
know.
about
These
here?
people are beneath me.
Well, they're proud for anything that can be considered atypical. So, like, I made the joke that of guys in a wheelchair is getting girls. I don't think they mean that. I don't think they mean, like they're like an actual disability. They might mean like I have ADHD. I have a disability. For all we know, I don't know.
Yeah,
Right?
they're
But they're
helmet wearers.
yeah,
I know.
exactly.
When
So
I seriously, I want to engage in this, but when it just gloss over me because I would never associate myself with these people
yeah,
ever in my life. These are the type of people I would throw water on if they got in my way. I mean, I'm just being honest.
yeah, boil up.
These people. There's a reason why we have shame, and I love growing up when I
Yes,
grow up because shaming works. If you did shaming, then you would not have this thing going on right now. They
that's
got
such a
rid
good
of
point.
shaming so people like this can be delusional in their mental illness and get no treatment for it. You know what I'm
We
saying?
have a
These are the
big
people who bring
anti-shame culture.
their imaginary friends to school and have a seat for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we have a big anti-shame culture, like you said, it's a good point because in the past, shame is how we got people to act in a normal cultural
Right.
sense. Especially when you're a kid, you need some sort of shame. Otherwise, you end up being a complete weirdo. You need to be molded in some direction. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily bullying, but it means some sort of molding in that direction. Now, if you're fat, if you're anything negative, you
And
can't shame
I
people
wouldn't even
for.
say that this is just a mental state of mind. Like these people right here,
Yeah.
I could never, even as an adult, you can't talk to me and you have this mentality. When you start telling me what pronouns to call you, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, who said we're gonna interact with each other? I have no interest. I have no interest in you being my friend.
Let you live in California or whatever your states are and stay out of my area. But we'll finish this article so we can talk about the last one.
Okay.
I'm not going to read all of this, but basically she talks about, Elizabeth's queer disability too. It's great. By the time her kids met her, they had known that they were polyamorous. And so she goes on and talks about the fact that the kids understand the polyamorous relationship, but it can sometimes get awkward. If you go down a little bit more, I generally love Elizabeth as part of our family, but I still sometimes feel jealousy. So at first I was reading this, it's like, do these people not feel like what happened? What trauma happened in your life that you don't feel this normal human emotion of jealousy? I always wonder that, but she does feel jealous. Goes on to talk about how like yeah, Elizabeth lives with us now, and we have to have those conversations with our kids about what exactly the situation is, and we need to divide our time together and to work around our jealousy issues, right? And after reading this whole article, you're just like, why is this person even doing this, right? Because the title is about your best friends, but she doesn't really go on to talk about how amazing she loves Elizabeth. She really talks about how it presents challenges for dealing with the children and the jealousy she incurs. So if you're a woman, I think 99.999 million% of women would say, I don't want my husband's girlfriend to be living with us and butting in with the matters of the children. But this person's taking it in stride completely because it's polyamorous. And it's such a disease right now in our culture.
And not my culture. I mean, when
American
I'm in
culture
the
is
right
becoming
wing. I'm in the right wing Southern culture.
So the thing is, this is that we used to say I haven't really been hearing this term so much lately, but we used to say we're the silent majority. I don't really know if that's the case anymore. We're definitely more silent than
This
ever.
is where I fight the right on. Stop being okay with these people reproducing. If they want to have an abortion, you see what I'm saying? Let them have their abortion.
Well, we are outbreeding them completely. Conservatives are outbreeding liberals by a big factor, but then they compensate for that by bringing in Mexicans who would outbreed anybody in America.
Yeah.
I'm not saying outbreed in a negative connotation. I think it's a positive thing.
I didn't take it
If
as
you
a
can take care of it.
negative.
I'm just
These
saying
people,
when you the left will use the term
are
breeder
dangerous to
sometimes.
children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't trust. It's bad enough that they have infiltrated the schools to where they have direct children. I mean, the women themselves are pedos, and they're. I don't know if I see one more story about a woman teacher having sex with her male student, I'm gonna scream. And it's always these white liberal teachers that are in their 20s or early 30s.
So strange, yeah. And a lot of times they're married.
Yeah, this one right here was going through a divorce because the husband found before the charges was brought towards her for statutory rape. The husband filed divorce when he found out that she'd rather be with her student than with him.
Yeah, I wish I could understand it better, but I really don't know what has happened to the culture that we have women who are pursuing students. I don't know if this is a thing that's been a very long-standing thing
It's a
in
predatory
human
it's a
history.
predatory
Yeah,
mindset when you yourself have low self-esteem. You feel that
yeah,
you are incapable of getting a man around your age or in a legal age. Therefore, you go after the weakest link. You go after the mindset of a horny teenager. Okay, and they are horny. And they
yes.
basically manipulate their minds into believing that, that you will care for them and love for them. And let's be honest, saying most of these young men and at that age, because this one was 14, they don't know about turning down a grown ass woman like that. They are probably being neglected by their own mother, and then they have a woman who's probably the mother's age who is not only giving them the attention that they're looking for, but also sexual gratification.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a 14, 15-year-old boy, I don't think you're incapable of turning down any
I
girl,
don't think so either.
much less an authority figure, and who kind
Right.
of forces it on you. I think you're probably right. I think another thing might be because I had a teacher when I was in high school who would kind of flirt with students a little bit, and she had a reputation of sleeping with students after they graduated, after they're 18. So I think part of it, because she always wanted to talk to the cool kids, right? And I think part of it is like not living that lifestyle when you're in school and like not being part of the cliques and all that. You know how high school is, and then once it's relived that, and if you sleep with the popular boy, it kind of makes you cool and validated all over again, like you never had in high school. That might be part of it. I saw one example that I knew that was kind of feels like it might have been that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So our last story for
Sure.
today is going to be juicy. Now we have to be careful about this one. Okay.
We have
we got to be careful about this one right here. Okay. Let me see if I can enlarge it a little bit here.
Yeah, but before we get here, we should kind of give the backstory. I think probably everyone knows it, right? Because this was a couple of days. This is very recent, 4 hours ago. But the backstory behind the Nicki Minaj story is that she was talking about the flu or the variants coming from China, and she was saying that she wasn't necessarily against. Actually, I don't know if I could use mentioning buzzwords.
Okay,
You might
she
have to help me out
was
here.
talking about something that happened to her cousin in Trinidad, and therefore she is a little she's contemplating some things, but she does advocate to get the jab. She advocates to get it. Everybody. Please, everyone, get the vaccine. Please follow the FDCA. The CDC and FDA, and listen to Dr. Fauci. These people know what they're talking about. They
mean Lord
are the
Fauci.
supreme leaders, and therefore we must obey them. There.
Lord Supreme God, Dr. Fauci.
So,
she
yeah.
basically made. She said she's in support, but she said I could do my own research and make your own research and make your own decision when you're comfortable with it. Don't get bullied. And that last part is where they really got pissed off
Yeah, and
at her.
Joy Reid tried to put her on blast. And then she
Yeah.
said she was going to do her own research. And then that's when we have racist people like Hassan Piker, Chink Uger's nephew, want to sit up here and basically try to clown her. Now, she basically popped back, but Tucker Carlson defended her. Okay.
Her last night. A lot of conservatives did, and he defended her. And then I don't know exactly what she had said or makes us see it, but like so white nationalist is trending on Twitter.
Yeah,
So
because
is Nicki
Hassan
Minaj.
Piker said that Tucker Carlson is a white nationalist.
Yeah. So you see, it's
You
right
can't
here,
make
guys.
the man who called black people and Uncle Tom and said that America deserved 9/11 is going to talk about how Tucker Carlson is the white supremacist. And by the way, Hassan says, and this is, and if anybody try to correct me, I will ban you, because this is why the bell curve is a lie. Okay. I said that Hassan Piker, and this is true, is white. Turkish is a nationality, you dumbasses, all right? Arabic is also a language, and Islam is a religion. So there is no race. There's no Islamic race. There is no Turkish race. There is no Arabic race. He is white. He is white.
It's how you define race, but he has white features. The earliest classifications of race was like white, black, Native American, and like Mongoloid. Like
he is a descendant of Caucasians and
white,
therefore
yeah.
has more Caucasians.
Anyways.
Caucasoid. He is white. I'm sorry. Even though I went to a inferior school, I know the difference between a Mongoloid, a Caucasoid, and a Negroid, and an asteroid. The people from Australia. Yeah, what do you call them? The ones from Australia. The one.
They're Aboriginals.
Yeah,
Australians,
Aboriginals. So there's a different races. There are different races, and he is the descendant of the Caucasoid. Okay, so there are.
I think we're getting sidetracked, Sheree.
But anyway, he's white. He's white. So when you sit up here and try to tell me he's not white, then what is he then? Don't tell me he's Turkish and Arabic and Islamic. Those are not racist. Anyway, so okay. So
he called Tucker a white nationalist.
He called Tucker Carlson a white nationalist. And then this is where we get Nicki that is responding
a couple hours ago.
And several hours to go. And so so then she puts him on blast and she says, right, I can't speak to agree. Hold on, let me not read this through the here we go. Right. I can't speak to, agree with, even look at someone from a particular political party. People aren't human anymore. If you're black and a Democrat tells you to shove marbles up your ass. Oh my God. I never really cared about. Let me just say this. I don't like Cardi or Nicki. I don't really like get into their personality, but Nicki done won me over in this one. You simply have to.
Don't endorse Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, but we like this comment though.
Yeah. If another party tells you to look out for the bus, stand there and get hit.
Comes out and says it. She has 22 million followers. You see, this has 20,000 shares already. It was only 4 hours ago. She came out and said, listen, if you're black, you don't have to be a Democrat. Listen to everything they said. She didn't even say she's a Republican, but she did defend Tucker Carlson, who is the biggest target outside of Trump on the right, probably. And maybe DeSantis. He's the biggest target. She wouldn't have defended him.
Look at this. Look at her. Okay, we can't comment on this, but I want everybody to look at this. What's going on? If you don't do this, I'll never forgive you. I'm doing it, babe. If you guys have questions you'd like me to ask, leave it in the comments. You'll see it in real time with full transparency.
Oh, look what she said below that.
The United States needs to invite you to speak at the General Assembly immediately. And then she goes, the White House has invited me and I think it is a step in the right direction. Yes, I'm going. I'll be dressed in a pink, like Legally Blonde, so they know I mean business. I'll ask questions on behalf of the... Fuck Nicki Minaj. There you go. Fuck her. Fuck Nicki Minaj. Fuck this bitch. Fuck her. Fuck her. Fuck her. So I'm telling you, this fucking weak ass bitches over here want to sit up here and get cucked around by the white man and their goddamn these people on Twitter. Fuck this bitch,
last
man.
sentence, though. I'll ask questions on behalf of the people who have been made fun of for simply being human, saying, I'm going to go there, I'm going to put them on blast.
She cucked. She cucked.
By the way, Everyone. I don't like that she tells me for every episode not to curse. I do my best, and then she always ruins it.
When he said fuck, I said, okay, well, I guess we could cuss now.
Oh, that's true. I did it first.
Yeah, you cursed first. So once you cursed first, I was allowed to curse after that.
We're not trying to say Nicki Minaj is the best advocate on the right. We're just pointing out that it's a pretty stunning thing for her to put up a mild defense of Tucker Carlson and to say, listen, don't be indoctrinated, ask questions about the vaccine, and I'm going to push forward against the White House now, apparently.
She ain't going to push forward against shit.
Maybe she will.
No, she won't. Oh, you want to put some money on it? Hold on. You want to put some money on it? Hold on. You've been wrong before.
I'm out of money. So... won't do that.
Listen. Whenever I say something with conviction, I'm right. I'm always, when I say something like, when I say it with so much confidence and conviction, that means I know I'm right and I'm always going to be proven right. Now, sometimes I'll say something like, I'll do that. But no, when I like, nope, this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. What? And Republicans, hold on, one last thing, because I know you're going to want to respond to this. Fuck Nicki Minaj. Republicans are so fucking thirsty that they would get on any damn teat that fucking goddamn give them a wink and a tickle. Yeah, I said it.
But because in the media, we kind of need it, right? But I think part of it is that I have some cope in me, some copium, right? And I want to... like, sometimes it takes over my logic. I'm like, no, but Nicki Minaj, she's for us. Maybe. Because as conservatives, we've been black-pilled for so long, thinking things are not going to improve. That anytime someone in the mainstream media gives us a little bit of hope, we go, yes, look at this person. And we defend them. We push their message out everywhere because we don't have nobody. We need somebody. We need some people in the mainstream media. The reason why Democrats are so offensive is because they have the whole entire propaganda army behind them. We've seen a couple people. Just a couple.
Listen, that's the reason why the Republicans will always be the nerd table, is because y'all so fucking thirsty. And when you act like you don't need motherfuckers, when you act like you don't want these people on your side, they want to be on your side. For example, nobody wants the Walmart purse, but everybody wants that goddamn $3,000 Fendi purse. They want to be able to get into the clubs that's $30,000, but they don't give a shit about the $5 club. When you make yourself exclusive, people want in. And that's the reason why nobody wants to be on this side, is because we will take any thirsty fucking broke down motherfucker who says our talking points.
All right. I think your point makes sense for everything else, but not for politics. I mean, people don't want to go.
For the right wing, for Republicans.
Liberals don't want to go and join Parler. They want to be on Twitter, right? They don't want to go and to support people who have been completely deplatformed. Once that happens, once it's exclusive, you never hear from them ever again. And so we like the mainstream is helpful to have some of them. If we only depend on being exclusive, we've been exclusive for a long time.
No, we haven't. We are so thirsty for. Oh my God, we got some Hispanics who like. Oh my God, we got Asians. Oh, we got a lot of black people that are saying our things. We don't get them off the Democratic plantation. Like thirsty as fuck. When you just sit up here and just be. Here's the deal. If you are we'll say in a man and a woman case, okay. When a man and a woman know their know their self-worth, know that they are better and they don't have to belittle themselves, okay? And if they get the little broken down, busted ass grilled guy coming into their face and stuff like that, or a woman with rainbow weave stripes in her fucking hair with a tiger two-piece on, you know what I'm saying, with flip-flops on, you know what I'm saying, this is repulsive, and a high value guy or a high value girl or a woman or a man who has self-worth would look at these people and go, you know, they probably won't be nasty and say ew, but they'd be like, no, thank you. But Republicans, and because Trump conservatives, oh my God, anybody who could be a drug addict, a fucking pimp, a fucking street whore. You can be a fucking porn star and actually say, I'm on the Trump train. Everybody like, yay, come and join us. Thirsty.
I was going to say that your argument makes sense for relationships. I mean, guys out there, if you're listening, you should not be super thirsty, and you should try to get women to go and not necessarily chase you, but desire you and not be so overly obvious. It makes sense for relationships, not for political parties. Like, I completely agree that Republicans are thirsty as hell. We'll accept anybody who will give us any sort of positive affirmation, and then Democrats are the opposite, and they'll call us deplorables, and they'll shame anybody that strays from the ideology whatsoever. But I just don't think that's a cause of popularity and unpopularity. I think that's just a feature of the different systems right now because of the media propaganda we have all the time.
Yeah. I just
good for you, Nicki Minaj. Good for you. Keep on pushing back. Even if you're not the best right-wing person
she's not
ever,
pushing back nothing. She just to me, now that I see the whole thing, she just defended. All she did was defend Tucker Carlson, but she's going to submit.
It's hard to defend Tucker Carlson. I mean, like, not logically, but like in terms of like the pressure gets put on.
But I'm not thirsty enough.
She's trending.
But the thing, she's
Twitter
trending. But
right
so what? How does the real question? How does this help the Republican Party?
It could wake up some of her viewers.
How?
That they can say, oh, if Nicki Minaj says that this person is a human being, and maybe we can agree with them sometimes, maybe I could. If you have people,
a homeless person is a human being. That doesn't mean you're gonna. That doesn't mean you're gonna give up all your shelter just to be.
What she's saying here is that, like, really the subtext is I agree with some people on some issues, and just because it's not Democrats, I'm gonna have to do everything that I can't agree with them at all. I have to do everything Democrats say, right? So like but
it doesn't mean she's going to be a Republican, and it doesn't mean she's going to she's going to come on this side, and it doesn't mean her ratchet following are not going to do it. I don't want her following over here either. Have you seen these people?
Right. I don't want Nicki Minaj fans. I'm sorry, Nicki Minaj fans listening to this podcast. Probably zero of you guys.
Fuck you guys, okay? Come at me. Here's the deal. Stay over there on the Democratic side, guys. Y'all are the ratchet ass people I've seen. I've seen the videos that y'all make.
Well,
I'm not thirsty like these. I'm a right wing who's not thirsty for these people. It's like we got enough of these people over here on the right as it is, and they just fucking up everything.
See, that's what me and Tree disagree. I'm a very thirsty conservative that thinks I can change you. I'm like that girl that brings in the busted up criminal, and it's like, I can make him a better man. That's me. I'm just like, bring him to our party. We can make conservatives out of them. Go red pill them. That's me. It's successful sometimes.
It's like I've never seen it. It's like women take it off criminals off. Like did you know there's a website to date criminals in jail?
Did you know there's an Amazon show that my wife is forcing me to watch right now about that subject? It's about
really? It's a show about that?
Yes, I gotta watch it. I wish I remember the name right now, but it's basically they go and they I forget where it's on. I think it's on Amazon Prime. But they go and they have a matchmaking service with people in prison, and it never works out. And these people are so stupid.
Really,
really,
BJ, it never works out, huh? Please tell us how it doesn't work. Really, it never works out, huh?
But everyone's so hopeful all the time, and it's like, gee, do you know what you're doing right now? It's like you can't find someone on the outside, and the people on there aren't necessarily the biggest losers ever. You expect, if you're dating someone in prison and you're looking for people in prison, maybe you're a big loser. So these people are normal people that go, oh, I guess maybe people in prison deserve a second chance. Maybe, but I wouldn't date them.
And you just proved my point. You just proved my point about Republicans and conservatives. You said they're so fucking thirsty, they go after the lowest of the low and wonder why it never works out. I was being sarcastic when I said, really, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Really, did BJ? It doesn't work, really? I was being sarcastic because you proved my point.
Dating criminals and getting people to join the right are a little bit different, not completely different.
So in other words, also, are we okay with inviting criminals to join the right?
I think ex-criminals can't atone for this.
No, active criminals.
I think
active criminals.
Because because part of conservatism is respecting the rule of law. So if you're an active criminal, then definitely not. But I met my wife. She was a Bernie Sanders supporter, and now she's even more to the right than I am. You can definitely red pill people.
Here's the deal: they have accepted an active porn star. So I'm like, and so here,
there's a lot of pushback against that, and there should be pushback against that.
This is what I'm saying, but that's because they know that y'all, not you, but a lot of people on the right are so fucking thirsty that you can be a pimp, you can be a porn star, you can be all these things and say, I'm a conservative, I'm a right wing, I'm over here on the right. So I'm saying like this, like, no, I mean, like, never mind. This is a problem that's never going to go away because there's nothing you could do about thirsty people. You're going to have thirsty men and thirsty women, and there is no cure for that. Okay? They're just thirsty because they feel like they have to accept people that are beneath them because they too believe that they are shit just like the people that they want to accept. Because I'm sorry, sweetie, as an eagle, I don't deal with no goddamn pigeons. Have you ever seen an eagle chilling with a pigeon?
I don't think so.
Really? Imagine that. All right, hold on.
I have to check my memory there. I don't believe so.
No, eagles never put their claws on the ground. They never put their claws on the ground, and they live way high in the mountains. While the pigeons are just, what do you call them? Rats with wings. Yeah. You they have to get
living in the clouds and the trees,
right?
And all the dirty pigeons
because they are superior birds. They are excellent birds, and they don't deal with no flying rat like a pigeon.
Well, there's a lot more of those pigeons than there are eagles, and they control voting. So. You gotta try to change those pitches to the Eagles in some capacity, because otherwise we're gonna lose.
All right.
Yeah, spot on word on that. You got it.
I don't even have a response
Can't fight
to
that one. Can't fight that one. Got it.
All right, guys, let me read this last super chat. And then congratulations there. You made me just like be speechless. I can't even respond to that. Like, yeah, there are more eagles that have voting power than whatever. Okay. So here hopefully this shit is gonna work. It's not working for me. Hold on, guys. I really, really apologize. For some reason, I'm trying to look at the super chat and get everybody what you're saying. And hold on. Okay, here we go. I got it. I fixed it. Phew, thank you. $20 from the Engaged View. Thank you so much, Boo Boo. I appreciate you. Over the years, I have been invited to many polyamorous weddings. You know what I've never been invited to? A polyamorous. A polyamorous five. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me read that again. Over the years, I have been invited to many polyamorous weddings. You know what I've never been invited to? A polyamorous 5-year anniversary party.
Good point.
Excellent point.
But people don't take marriage seriously. They can get into the marriage, but will it succeed? No, because human nature takes over, and no one wants to be sharing their spouses for a long period of time if you love that spouse.
And Cornelius Brunes says the show is called Love After Lockup. Love After Lockup is the show. Okay. What did you say? That's on Amazon?
That's this guy. He knows the answers. I have a bad memory of this stuff. I think Amazon Prime Video.
Don't worry. I'll find it on the torrent site. I'll find it on the torrent site.
I love that really shitty reality brain dead TV. 90 Day Fiance, Married at First Sight, Love After Lockup. I love that brain dead stuff. Like, late at night and you just like turn it off and you watch the stupid idiots dating each other. It's my guilty pleasure. I don't eat treats or candy. I don't eat bad food. I'll watch some bad TV. It's fun.
All right. So look, that was it. Thank you guys so much for the donations. I appreciate it. This is our third show. And hey, we're so far so good, right?
It's good. And wait till next week, even better.
Yeah. I love it. It feels good to interact with someone, so that's a good plus for me. So guys, listen, tomorrow is my news show at 8 o'clock p.m. Okay, be sure to tune in to that. And we have BJ's Instagram link below this video as well. So be sure to go over there and check him out. His Instagram is lit. It's on fleek. It's awesome.
Yeah. And we also have your that panel on Sunday, which is always fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. I just forgot all about that. I was.
Yeah.
So listen. We have we're gonna have the panel coming up this Sunday at 8 o'clock p.m. So be sure to see yours truly, BJ, on there. And Grimace says he'll be coming in from Hawaii on vacation on Saturday. He might come, he may not come. But we have GS Summit who's definitely going to come in. And
it's conservatives versus liberals versus moderates in a debate format. It's a really fun show.
Yeah. So you guys be sure to look out for that. So this is Tree, and we're gonna be here next week here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna let my co-host sign us off.
All right, everyone. Happy Yom Kippur. And have a good night. Yom Kippur.
That's it?
Yeah, I thought they were going to sign off. I didn't know what to say. What up, everybody?
I rock my baby from down in the county jail. And this is what I said.
I got the wrong one up there. There we go.
We off?